Oh, good morning, guys. We are outside my hotel with one plan today before we catch the bus to Durrës, and that's to see Mother Teresa Square. Showing you where I am. This was my hotel last night. When I first came here, I wasn't really too sure about the area, to be honest. Well, I just didn't know what to expect. And if my voice gets raspy while we're doing this walking tour today, it's because I left my water behind and we'll have to buy some, but it's early. It's like 6:15 in the morning. I did learn a few things yesterday on my evening walk. Number one, don't wear a Hawaiian shirt. It screams tourist and people will come up to you for stuff. White shirt is probably the way to go. You can get away with a cap. For some reason, maybe this was a Poland thing, everyone's wearing Yankee hats. It's like they don't know any better. But down here, you see kind of more variety. So last night, I wasn't paying attention because I was walking, like just looking down. And I don't know if you can see it, but you see like that blinking lady right above the Burger King sign. I was like, God, that's a weird Burger King. Burger King, what exactly are you selling? There's more people out right now than I expected. Oh, someone's dog. It's got a collar though. It's the one thing I'm not familiar with yet, or whether or not, you know, like the strays. Oh yeah, the guy, okay, I got it. He's just walking his dog without a leash. For anyone who thought that this city was not modern, it would be nuts. Like, even with, like, you can get by with just a debit card on a lot of things. Maybe not in the smaller markets. I was reflecting on that because at my hotel, I could pay with a card, even though I was panicking to get euros and leks before I came. And even at the airport, you know, you feel like you had to do it, but I didn't. Unless, of course, you take a cab, and usually they want cash. Just past the 24-hour. Wow, hold on, wait. Just past the bus. It's a really short walk, actually. Leaves on the hour to go to the airport. I'm sure it's significantly cheaper than what I paid. It's the mosque in the background. That's where we're heading. Gonna hang a left and head down towards, hopefully I got the directions right. But anyway, what I was saying, I got the cab they had set up for me was late, wasn't there. I went to the area they told me to look for. A different guy showed up. I asked him, nothing. And I waited 30 minutes. So I ended up saying, screw this, because it was like 100 degrees and I'm melting. And I switched and just took a regular cab. It wasn't that bad. It was 23 euro. I didn't care. Our statue again this morning. I think of some tribal leader, or maybe even the Ottoman. I don't really know. I was fascinated this morning. I was reading, more about the history of here, and I didn't realize that it was under that the Albanians were under, that the Italians had invaded here under Mussolini. But then again, I had to kind of revisit a lot of stuff because I forgot about, I knew that the Ottoman Empire, this was part of the Ottoman Empire, and then when the Ottoman Empire collapsed after World War I, Albania became an independent country. And it was during that transition that it basically became a protectorate under the Italians with the money that they were pouring in. But I forget the guy's name now, but I know what he became. King Zog was the one that ended up taking control until World War II. Until he, had to flee after the Italians took this country for themselves. Now, we're heading to the beach today, but I want to show you right here because everything's close. This little square that I'm filming, that's where the bunk art is. So you can go down below and that's like where all the bunkers are. And it lets you get a feel for all that fun stuff. I guess I could have run here this morning. It's pretty flat. So we actually have to head straight, but instead we're going to this park because how could we not want to visit a park with some interesting artwork right in front of us? I have no idea what this is. I do see the Albanian, I was going to call it bird, but it's because I don't know if it's an eagle or not. As some of you might know from my Polish videos, I call the eagle like a goose or like a strange duck. It's a pretty park. I'm following the canal right now, the Erie Canal we have right here. After reading all that history, though, about the Italians and stuff like that, I was like, oh, well, that explains some stuff to me as I was walking around. And I mean, granted, I used to live right across the way in the southern part of Italy, and the closest part of Albania to here is 42 kilometers. So they're very, very close. And back in the 80s, it was commonplace for the Albanians to smuggle cigarettes into Brindisi. Story for another day, though. I don't know if you can see it through the haze or my camera's picking it up, but you can see part of the mountains in the distance over there in between the two buildings. There's also a church. I think it's the St. Paul Church, which is very new, or newer looking. Canal. I got 16 seconds to cross. 18 seconds. Oh, I don't know. Can I do it? Now I have to say, when I read that the city had a pyramid, I was like, I gotta see this thing for myself. And now that I caught a glimpse of it, I'm utterly disappointed. Oh my God. But here, you make the decision for yourself. Is this a good pyramid or not? And I don't know what's worse, the pyramid or the gummy bears that are, well, King Kong that's guarding it here. Huh. I guess, well, you can climb up it. All right, let's take a look. We can be impressed, or not so much. It's not bad. Looks like a wedding venue to me. I thought it was something else, something more off the wall. So I have this dog chirping at me as I'm just trying steep steps, sorry. It's actually a heck of a lot steeper than it looks. And as many of you know, I don't do heights, but we're almost there. It's just holding the camera and filming it. Stupid. Woo! I feel like Ric Flair. All right, it's worth the view though. Look at this. Look at the mountains. The cafe over here. Wonder if they serve alcohol. What a beautiful morning. Mountains. The building that I mentioned in the previous video, built by little kids. Again, get this wonderful view of the skyline here. Love it. Okay, that was worth it. One thing though. If you don't like heights, don't look down this thing. Don't do it. I'm not even going to show you. It's too much for me. Too much. So one thing I wanted to mention before we head down is where that church is, the one I mentioned, which may or may not be right. Right to the left of it is actually this beautiful. It looks a little bit like Hagia Sophia. I think I said that right. This beautiful mosque. Wow. Yeah, I decided to go down a different way, which ended up being the stairs that you can see through. Not a good idea. This is really kind of funky. I don't know if you can see this yellow building right over here, but it makes it look like this lady's about to fall off. How that they did it. They're really into their shapes here. I'm not dubbing this the pyramid area. I'm dubbing it Shape Square. Whew. A lot of cameras. A lot of cameras too. Like more than I thought. Beautiful tree right here. All right, onwards. Gotta get to the square. It's funny, every time we go for these walks, I think it's gonna be quick because it's like a little over a mile to do this walk, and the next thing I know, we're off gallivanting. Look at this, what we got here. Nice little mosaic action. I saw one guy do it, so I figured I'd do it too. So let's, down one of these streets, I don't know which one, is the old, oh, look at this, guys. Got a little bunker action here. I don't know if you knew this, but there's like 1,500 of them spread throughout the country. I forget the guy's name. We'll call him the Prime Minister. I'll put his name right there in the comments. He was in power for like from the 1940s on until like 1985, until his death. But this guy, he actually did a lot of good things. In the fact that he was originally a school teacher. And then he joined the partisan movement, and when Albania managed to break away from Italy, they were able to, let's see if I can get this bunker right here. He took control, and I will say led with an iron fist. He was a Stalinist at first. But yeah, his house though is on one of these streets, and it's a museum now that people can go and visit. Well, I did want to stress the positive parts though, not getting into negative. But before he took over, it was like 15% of the population could read and write, and by the end, it was at 90%. I mean, big deal. And under his guidance, because the country was just ravaged after World War II. I mean, so many towns were destroyed. The entire the infrastructure of the country was just ruined under their programs that they set up with the communist regime here. They were able to rebuild and, for example, get electricity. Their goal was to get electricity to the whole country by like 1985. This was something they set back in 1960, their goal, and they accomplished it by 1970. So that's impressive. And now, if I'm off with any of my numbers, please feel free to put them in the comments. But the point is, a country of only 1 million people, not a very big country at all, they were able to do some stuff successfully. Well, this is kind of odd. You see the light shining on us from the Marriott, I think. This massive hotel. And I believe the square that I was so enamored with, I was like, oh, I have to go. I think it's right here. I think this is Mother Teresa Square, which I thought there was a statue at least. Oh. Okay. Wow. I was expecting more, but maybe that's how they treat their beloved Mother Teresa, which would make sense. I'll explain why in a second. So under the communist regime, they basically, well, then we'll keep it simple. The Muslims and the Christian faith were pretty much looked down upon and frowned upon and persecuted. And Mother Teresa, being who she was looked at as, I won't say so much of a traitor, but someone you couldn't trust because she was in cahoots with the Vatican. And because of that, when the regime was in power, they wouldn't let her come back here to see her mother or her sister. So for like, I don't know, I want to say like for 50 years, she wasn't able to come home. And it's really a shame because she was proud of her Albanian heritage. She's from Albania, but they were threatened of her. They were threatened of what she meant, what she represented. And it kind of gives you a little bit of perspective too, because even now, you can tell why there's newer churches, why there's nothing really truly old. Because if the communists were in power, why are they going to spend the money when they're rebuilding the country, taking on loans from the Soviet Union and from China, from Yugoslavia, from all these other communist states? They're not going to spend that money on churches or on mosques. I seem to have stumbled across a very interesting garden right here, full of heads and other really amazing art. Ugh. So if we cross the street, you go into this major park. If I remember right, this is where the cable cars are, and we'll take you up to the mountains to give you a full view of the city. We don't have time for that today because, frankly, this is supposed to be a quick walk, and I just want to see the square. Wow, I thought Sonic was only in Poland. You guys. All right, I'm getting hungry. But I gotta get back to the hotel. That's where my meal is. Here's our breakfast. Some bread and watermelon. So, block over from the square, I just wanted to show you this right here. These apartment buildings. And interesting enough, because we're always looking for connections to other countries, there's a Chopin thing right here. So the embassy in Poland put this here to represent the 210th anniversary of his birth. Huh, go figure. I wonder where the embassy is. It must be close, right? It's like I try to get away from Poland and it's still here. Oh, that park looks so inviting, but I am already sweating to death. There's so many like restaurants and cafes. I don't know how you could like try them all. I don't think you can. Cocktail beer time. That guy had a rough night. At the original Belgian beer. I do like these streets a lot. I mentioned that last night, but I really do. I like how green it is. It's just, it really, I get it, it's Albania, but it kind of reminds me of like stuff that you'd see in the movies for like Paris. Now granted, I've never been to Paris, so again, basing it off the movies. Oh my God, we found some guy to rub his nose. Is this Jack Daniel? Hey buddy, how you doing, Jack? I might be wrong, but I think this is the house. I'm like 95% sure, just walking one street over, I managed to find the old Prime Minister's house right here. Here it is, guys. It looks like windows are up and I don't know, it looks like they're doing some renovating, but we found it. And this is why you take a different route back when you're walking, guys. Very important. That's awesome. So the guy lived there for like 50 years or whenever they built it to, you know, when he died. What's funny though is right across the street, sort of like a slap off at the head communist, you got St. Joseph, which is Catholic. You got, it looked like Monopoly to me, but anyway. But more importantly, there's KFC. Okay? What really exhumes Americana free economy than KFC? One final look. That's pretty cool. I'm happy to have seen that. Reminds me a little bit of a Frank Lloyd Wright house. Getting back to the busyness. Got my landmark though, this big building right there. That of course I blocked by the bright lights. Are these mushrooms? Again, there's the canal. Always on the lookout. So I see these fashion designer dresses right here, but then look, I keep walking, and what do you notice up there? Do you see what I see? So you got these floral gowns right here, but then there's the wedding dresses right up top. My mom would be proud. I found the casino. Look, Mom. Look. And then right across the street, as I said, is wedding dress. Hey, camera. Right across the street is Wedding Dress Row. And some cute little cafes again. This town has it all. It's actually, I like it. I can see I'm a little remiss for only staying a night and a morning and then heading off to the ocean. Well, to the sea. Well, guys, it looks like we are fast approaching where we started. I hope you enjoyed my my morning walk, and I'll see you soon. Okay? All right, guys. Till next time. Peace.